What do you look for in a lead man or in the main character in Real Point, or is there a difference when for films like the one we saw today or films like Whiskey and Vodka, you have the same concept of acting, or does it change?
It's quite different. This Whiskey with Vodka is a written screenplay, you know, and I did a casting for that, yeah, and for that film, because it's taking place on a film set, I could choose very famous actors as well, because it doesn't matter. For a film like that, to me, it's much more interesting to work with not so well-known theater actors. And of course, I cannot do a casting for a film like that, because what can I cast? I have no character. So we develop that together with the actors. So I needed some actors I trusted. And in that, for example, in that case, I knew these actors. I worked together with Steffi Kühnert before, and I knew her as a brilliant actress, and that she was able to improvise in a very nice way. And I knew Milan Peschel from many theater performances in Berlin. He's very famous in Volksbühne in Berlin. I saw him often there, and also in some wonderful, nice little films he did. And I just called them. I invited them. I told them, listen, I have a project about, we want to speak in a different way about death, about dying. What does that mean for a family? How do they come together? And so let's try to do something together about that. And then they agreed. They wanted to be a part of that process. It took half a year. And so we started the researches together. So we went to doctors, we went to relatives who lost somebody. And step by step, we created these characters. In the beginning, we did not know that Frank is going to die. It could have been Simone in these days. We didn't know. We decided that later together. And so this is a kind of family production. I have a film crew I know very well, and I need actors who are involved in the process of developing the script and the characters. And then when we start the production, they are full with ideas and full with different kind of material. Yeah? And so it's on the first day of shooting for a film like that, it's like a horse, you know, waiting that it has the possibility to start the run, start the race. And it was, it's always fantastic to see that when after a preparation of half a year, yeah. And so that works like that, you know, trying to get together. Imagine an Italian family. Yeah? We are sitting together around a big table. The production manager is cooking for everybody. So when we did that for the first time, I asked the crew and the actors to bring their instrument, if they play an instrument, to make music together. So trying to get in a good mood together, and trying to get the groove or the rhythm of your story. And the more you start to speak about, and the more you start to research together, the more you get the feeling for your story. And then sometimes you feel that in your heart, now it's the time to begin the shooting. And then we start. And but it's not like the usual process that you have a schedule and they said, okay, 20th of August, first day of shooting, 8 o'clock in the morning, first scene. It's not like that. It's quite different. And for giving an example, with that first scene with the doctor, to me, this situation seemed to be a little bit boring, because I knew scenes like that from other films. You know, we all knew these scenes from cancer dramas. You know? The doctor has his picture and said, "Listen, Mr. Meyer, that doesn't look very good." So, and after 2 to 3 minutes, the scene is over. So that's it. Sometimes it's clever done, but more or less it's similar. And that seemed to me boring. I did not knew what to do with that situation. We had that in our step outline, and I always thought, okay, maybe we should shoot that, but later on I can throw it away because it's not necessary. Maybe I start after the situation or something like that. But for the feeling of the actors and for my own feeling, I wanted to shoot the situation. And we were looking for a real doctor to do that with us because I didn't knew what will happen there. And interestingly, all the doctors we met during our researches didn't want to be in front of the camera. But no. We do these conversations in reality, but we don't want to be filmed. So, sorry, no. And we did a lot of phone calls, and then we find that doctor. He's in Potsdam. He's a neurochirurg. He's not a professional psychologist or something. No one can pay for these specialists in Germany. So usually he's standing at his operation table and does very difficult operation on the open brain. But he was open to that. He knew some films I did, so maybe because of that, I do not know. And then I met him. I met him one day before. We did that scene on a Thursday morning, and I met him Wednesday afternoon, one day before. I did not knew him, and then we met in that office we see in the movie, and I told him, so we will follow you. So you lead us through the situation, and he explained only a little bit what will happen, and he said one very impressive thing to me. This is not the room, if you believe me or not, this is not the room of big emotions. Usually, people don't cry here. They are shocked. And that's what I told the actors before. That was the only thing. And of course, I showed him this picture of the brain and of the tumor, and he was also a little bit shocked about that because it's very strong. And then on the next day, I came back with the actors, and I proposed them to wait outside. That's where we met them in the beginning of the movie. They waited there. They had already their microphones, and me and the operator, we were already with the doctor in his room, and we kept the actors waiting without saying anything to them for half an hour. And they did not know when the scene will start. I told them, you will see, the doctor will come and take you. They did not met him before. And then I started the scene. We were with the camera in the room of the doctor. He went to the actors who were waiting outside, and they met there, and he took him in that room. And that's where we catched them with the camera. That shot, what you see in the beginning of the movie, we did that later. And then the scene starts, and it was, to me, breathtaking. Because of the doctor. I didn't expect it that way. These very long pauses. That he was so open to being helpless himself. He showed that he is shocked. And he gave a lot of space to the actors or the characters to understand and to realize what happens and to ask their own questions. And for that reason, it was breathtaking because I didn't expect it, a doctor who is involved. I expected somebody who has a kind of wall, but he didn't. And so Steffi Kühnert, I told the actors not to have too many emotions because I didn't want it to give them the feeling that they have to cry or shout or things like that. No. But then Steffi started to cry, and because she couldn't stop. And the same happened to me. I was standing there with the boom because in these little productions I'm the boom operator as well, and I couldn't dry my tears because I was standing all the time like that, and I didn't want it to destroy the scene, of course. And it took altogether 50 minutes. By the way, it's not as short as it is, and it does not start like that, of course. So we edited that in that way, but it was much longer. But it was very impressive in my opinion. And so for that reason, I knew after 10 minutes of the scene that this will be in the movie, of course, because it was so surprising, and it's totally different from that kind of cliche of a scene I told you. And so we had to change the whole editing of the movie because there were some scenes before in the idea we had of the film, but I knew it's not possible to have a scene like that in the middle of a movie or after 5 to 10 minutes. It's not possible. The scene takes 8 minutes, I think. It's much too long. Usually a film scene, 3 to 4 to 5 minutes, that's it. But this is too heavy to have that in the middle of the movie. So I knew it's like a kind of prologue. It's a death sentence. And for that reason, we decided to start the movie immediately with that scene. And so that's how it comes. It's improvisation. You never know before what you will get.